After graduating from college and bombing out of grad school, that's another story for another video, I found myself in my 20s living in Boston. It was the 1990s. My career in high tech was mostly disappointing, my love life was a bucket of sad, and my mental recovery from the dumpster fire of grad school was slow going. One of my dearest friends in the world, who I first met in college, happened to be living in Boston as well at the time, and she introduced me to a book that absolutely changed my life for the better. The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Welcome to the INRIS Files, presenting thoughts on culture, history, and the human condition from a Generation X point of view. Julia Cameron describes The Artist's Way as a kind of 12-step program for recovering creatives, only here we are talking about people trying to reconnect with their creative selves. It's essentially a workbook, broken down into 12 sections, each one representing 1 week's worth of a proposed 12-week program. Each week features relatively short essays on 1 or 2 main topics, along with some quick exercises and a list of tasks to choose from for that week. The reader is encouraged to use the book in whatever way works best for their lifestyle at the time. I followed it along pretty much the way the author suggested, pursuing it as a weekly thing and doing my best to set an easy-to-follow schedule and then sticking to it. The book proposed key tools to use throughout the process, with 2 in particular, the daily morning pages and the weekly artist's date. The artist's date is a weekly time to shut out the world and spend a couple of hours simply feeding your inner artist. What you do and how you do it is completely up to you, although Cameron offers some suggestions to get you started. But it's ultimately all about taking a small time out to nurture your creative self on a regular basis. Truth be told, this is a practice I've long since fallen out of, but found it very healthy and helpful at the time, and it's something I should get back to. The morning pages are pretty much simply journaling, or keeping a diary, however you think of it. Take a paper notebook of your favorite kind. It has to be a paper notebook. This is not a computer typing exercise. It's a handwriting exercise. Start with a fresh page, write the date at the top, next line, start writing. Write anything that comes to mind, anything. Keep writing for 3 pages. Once you've filled up 3 pages, you can do whatever you want. Keep going, stop, it's all good. The point is to keep the pen moving for 3 pages. You can be as organized or disorganized as you want. You can start with a specific question in mind, or a specific idea you want to explore. Or you can start off by writing, I have no idea why I committed to doing this, until your subconscious mind and your pen conspire to take you in a different direction. That's the gist of it. Do it every morning, as close to the start of your day as you can, although I eventually found this was an excellent exercise at lunchtime too, when I couldn't get it done before work. Now, I'm pretty sure that Ms. Cameron intended for the reader to get one of those blank journals from a stationery store, or maybe one of those wide-ruled composition books. Fool that I was, I decided to start with a large college-ruled spiral notebook, and writing 3 pages in that beast took a long time, but I did it every day for years. Now, understand that the rest of the exercises and tools were extremely helpful and often very productive. I remember spending a day just walking around downtown Boston with my camera, that I hadn't used in ages, capturing a day in the life of the city. I remember an exercise where you had to go a week without consuming anyone else's creative work. The way Cameron put it was without reading anything, but that was in the days before the internet and broadband cable, and I'm pretty sure she would lump watching YouTube videos in with things not to do as part of this exercise. It was what today is sometimes called a dopamine detox, although she didn't use those words at the time. I also remember an artist date where I simply went hunting for a perfect pair of socks. Later, anytime I put on those socks, I was reminded again that it was okay to be kind to myself. I was reminded of my creative side. As worthwhile as all these tools and exercises were, it was the morning pages that transformed my life, and they did so in short order. Before too long, I found a kind of clarity in my professional life, which took on forward momentum, and before too long saw me moving from one end of I-90 to the other, landing in Seattle. I found clarity in my romantic life as well, getting serious with the woman who would later become my wife and bringing her with me on that cross-country move. I got my finances in order, started writing my first novel, and connected with the writing community in Seattle. Writing morning pages didn't solve all my problems, but it did help me find clarity where I needed it and direction when I was tired of treading water. It helped me to clear my mind of the mental gunk that was accumulating there so I could focus on the real issues. One of the hidden benefits of writing in a journal, just for yourself, is that it helps you to tap into your creative flow, which makes it remarkably easy to write for other ends. Say, your short stories, or novels, or essays, or letters, or dare I say it, scripts for your YouTube channel. By the way, I'm a science fiction writer who has had several short stories published in various anthologies. I haven't sold the novels yet. I'm not just speaking hypothetically here. An author friend of mine once said to me, "I find that the more I write, the more I write." He didn't mean that as a self-referential truism. He meant that the more he wrote anything, the more he wrote everything. Again, there's much more to The Artist's Way. I'll note, by the way, that Cameron phrases a lot of her ideas in spiritual terms. But if you're not a particularly spiritual person, don't let that put you off. I, for one, am not generally inclined to woo. But when you are able to connect with and harness that creative energy in yourself, when the words simply start to spill out of you onto the page because you've struck a vein of creative energy, you've tapped into the flow, or you've entered the zone, or however you want to phrase it. You don't need to be religious to appreciate the euphoria that comes with that. And Cameron embraces this point. You don't have to believe in religion or woo to appreciate the joy of unleashing your creative side. So whether you're feeling generally stuck in your life or you want to nourish your creative side, the INRIS Files recommends The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Have you tried The Artist's Way? Have you tried daily journaling or any of the other exercises and tools suggested in The Artist's Way? Please share your stories in the comments section below, and please be kind when you engage in the conversation. Be sure to click like if you want to see more videos like this, and subscribe if you'd like to be alerted about them when I post. Thank you for checking out the INRIS Files, and we'll see you again next time.